The sun hung low on the horizon, bleeding its fire through the tangled canopy of the Grathax jungle. I remember the light, amber, fractured, filtered through 1,000 twisting vines that coiled and strangled each other as though the forest itself was locked in eternal war. Heat pressed on me like armor I had never asked to wear. Sweat clung to my skin, not in drops but in sheets, soaking the underlayers beneath the shell of my kit. Every breath tasted of moss, of rot, of life too abundant for comfort. And all the while, the jungle sang its endless hymn, insect trills, guttural bird-like shrieks, the deep groan of something vast shifting far away in the foliage. I was Commander Laxer. At least, that was who I had been before that day carved me hollow. We had been dispatched to Vzaros Fort, sent by the High Council to sweep out rebel infestations, to silence those who fought against the spread of our dominion. We were not novices. We were forged in campaigns across worlds of fire and frost. We had cut through jungles before, left them burning behind us. Yet that day, as I scanned the warped horizon through a haze of insects and drifting pollen, I felt unease root itself in my chest. The Council had warned of insurgents. What they did not tell us was how silence itself would become the enemy. "Position draw," I barked into the comms. Only static replied. My second should have been anchored at the flank, steady as ever, but there was nothing, no confirmation, no voice, just the long, thin whisper of dead air. I frowned, lifted a hand to motion the squad to spread wider, eyes and barrels searching the gloom. The vines shifted underfoot, every step a betrayal of sound. Our armor, our proud shells, symbols of strength, felt like millstones dragging us downward. The jungle seemed to lean closer, as though it had been listening all along. A shadow darted at the edge of my vision, gone as soon as I turned. My breath stalled. I triggered the comms again, more urgently, but the system caught only my own rising heartbeat. Then came the flash, a searing bolt of white that tore through the canopy above, painting the world in brief, merciless light. The air erupted in a chorus of shrieks and just as swiftly fell silent. Where Dra had been, nothing. Empty air. Panic dug icy claws into my chest. Losing one was like losing a heartbeat, and we were already few. I called his name again, voice straining against the silence, but the jungle swallowed it whole. We regrouped, though every step felt like retreat. Carr's eyes flicked wide when he glimpsed something moving between the trees. Aka swore under his breath. Shapes shifted there, patient, predatory, like the jungle itself had learned to walk. And then Utar was down, no scream, only a gurgle as a dark shaft pierced his neck. His gaze met mine in shock, and then he was gone, collapsed in the green muck. The jungle howled then, as if it had only been waiting for the first drop of blood. We tried to drag his body back, but shadows swarmed us. Not claws, not beasts, just absence given form, taking everything we were into themselves. When I blinked, Utar's body was gone, as though he had never existed. One by one, the squad was peeled from me. Lucar tripped, vanished in a blur of movement I could not comprehend. Carr cried out once and fell silent. The comms were useless, nothing but static, as though some greater force had cut us off from one another. My commands sounded weak, even in my own ears, desperation cracking what should have been steel. And then, the sound. Boots, heavy, disciplined, not ours. I crouched low in the vines, pressing myself into the swamp of green shadows, and I saw them. Figures, human in shape, but more than human. They moved like wraiths with discipline, camouflaged so completely that they might as well have been born of the jungle. Their weapons gleamed in the last rays of sunlight. Their formation was flawless. Each step was a silent pact of unity. For a moment, disbelief warred with terror. Who were they? How had they come here, to this forsaken jungle? My mind, in its unraveling, whispered the answer I had not wanted to believe. Humans. Not the scattered tribes we had crushed on other worlds, not the fragile remnants of a dying earth, but warriors, hardened, silent, patient as the grave, Royal Marine Commandos. The words carved themselves into me as the figures broke from cover, their insignia catching the fractured light like knives. That was the moment the truth struck, not like a whisper, but like a blade driven deep. We had not been the hunters. We had been the quarry. Every loss, every scream swallowed by the jungle, every body that vanished without trace, it was their doing, their skill, their design. They had stalked us like prey, dismantled us piece by piece, until only I remained to bear witness. I wanted to rage, to deny, to cling to the pride the High Council had forged into me. But as I stared into the visor of the man who leveled his rifle at me, pride turned to ash. The jungle seemed to still, holding its breath for the inevitable. And in that silence, I knew. We were not the saviors, not the righteous, not the good. We were the invaders, the shadow creeping across worlds. And here, at last, on this suffocating green battlefield, justice had come wearing human skin. I drew breath, heavy as stone, and for the first time in my life, I felt the weight of shame greater than the weight of armor. The final burst of gunfire tore through the dusk, and then there was nothing. Only the jungle, only silence, only the memory of a squad that died believing we were heroes, until the truth revealed us for what we were.
Now, that is the end for this one. Make sure you come back for more, and like and subscribe. See you soon.